Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm very sorry we released a video yesterday, but the video didn't work, and thanks to two of our viewers, Mad Tony and No Quality Dioramas, for letting us know, as I rewatched it and it did work originally, but I have no idea why, so I'm sorry for that. I was already pretty late with my D-Day anniversary build, and now I guess I'm even later. But, well, I'm re-recording the audio as I just couldn't be bothered to try and put everything back in the correct time lapse. And speaking of time lapses, most of this video is a time lapse because otherwise it's already almost at 40 minutes, but otherwise the whole video would have lasted well over an hour, and I'm pretty sure no one would want to watch me doing a kit for an hour. So that's that. And well, it's AFV Club's Churchill AVRE with snake launchers. And well, this is the inside of the box, some AFV kits, maybe future projects, I'll see. I might want to pick up some of their kits. And this is the instruction manual. I particularly like the front face of the instruction manuals of AFV Club, as they provide you with a lot of interesting information. And I found out from them that this vehicle wasn't particularly successful with the snake launchers because, well, they just weren't particularly effective against anything. And this is one, I don't want to call it a selling point, but a unique feature that comes with AFV Club's kits. You get a catalogue of all their kits, which is pretty nice. Always some marketing that comes with the kit. And that was one AVRE up in the corner, and this is the one I'm making, as you can see. And another feature of AFV Club's kits are these poster-like things, if you want to call them. I guess you can use them on displays. I don't really use them, and from my Valentine I done some time ago, if you've seen that. You'll know I haven't used that either. So these are the sprues, very nicely moulded in my opinion. However, you do not use a pretty good bit of these parts because a lot of it is just from the normal Churchill, whilst we're making the AVRE variant in this video. So here you have the rubber vinyl tracks from AFV, and well, they're rubber tracks. What should you expect from them? I'll make them work though eventually. And this was another surprising thing. It comes with 3 frets of photo-etched, and you use 2 of them fully because they only have a couple of parts. But then the other one you basically don't use at all, which sort of surprised me. Why is it included if you use a couple of bits? Here we have the outer edge of the sides, as the sides made by halves, and well, I'm sorry for the lack of focus in advance because my camera is decently old. I think around 6 years old, and it's been everywhere on all my holidays, so all the dust, sand and so on gathering up. And what's the point of buying a new camera if this one works, right? I also like to use a metal file, as in my opinion it just works better. I know a lot of people like to use it for rough things like resin or anything else that's hard wearing, but I just prefer it on plastic as well. It just works nicely, and well, it works. You also had to drill out a couple of holes to put some pins in, or bolts should I rather say, and it just felt like it took forever, but it's just drilling out holes. Here are both the sides done. or should I say both the parts of the side, I mean. And here you cut off the inner edge. And that's how they close up. The fit was pretty nice, just I'm not sure if it's that seam meant to be there, but it was. And these are the springs. One interesting thing that I encountered, let me know in the comments if you've made this kit, but I only had 11 of the springs. However, you were meant to have 22. And I reached out to some people who have made this kit, and they've said they've had 22, which sort of confused me. And they said they could have been stuck in each other, but even looking at this now, it doesn't seem like that because, well, because it's, in my opinion, it's pretty impossible for 11 springs to get stuck in another 11, right? So here are the plastic springs, which I didn't put the metal springs on because, well, I didn't have any left. And, well, they're pretty nicely moulded. They're plastic springs, so you should expect the regular plastic quality. And these are the, I'd like to call them swing arms. It's basically the little part that that the wheel goes on, and, well, they're also pretty nicely molded. Just I don't like the attachment to the sprue. It can make the circle when you cut it just a bit deformed, so you have to be extra careful with that one, as I had one or two which ended up being a bit more deformed than the others, and it just didn't look nice. Here are the swing arm mounting, let's call it. It's a pretty long and flimsy part, so I would be cautious with it, as you could snap it, but I didn't. And I glued it on with super glue in the end on both sides because it just wouldn't fit properly with regular cement. Even the fast dry type that I use, it just wouldn't stay on. And, well, it might make the kit look a bit more ugly with a tiny bit of super glue on there, but, well, it is what it is. So here I'm filing down the side panel, and in a second you'll see what I mean by amazing engineering. Let me just for a moment watch this. Yes, you saw that, it slides in. Yeah, pretty nice fit, isn't that? And here it looks like I'm putting on a lot of super glue. I mean, cement, sorry. But, well, my jar was already almost empty, so I had to deal with what I had. However, later at the really end, I did pick up a new cement, so you see me not struggling as much. Here I'm using tweezers. Wow, me and tweezers, you see. I don't regularly use tweezers, as I just prefer using my fingers, as I don't have some massive fingers. They're just pretty big but normal size, so I feel like I can handle these parts of my fingers, but it just doesn't look as good, doesn't it? Here we put these supports, let's call them, for the tracks, like for the tracks to go on, and they sort of just look like bridges, I guess. While I'm saying this, let me tell you some facts about the Churchill. My original recording, I said I'm not sure if the Churchill could reverse at the same speed as it could drive forwards. And well, I found out some time ago it couldn't, even though it had sprockets at both the front and back. It could only go 15 kilometers per hour in reverse, which shocked me sort of, because think of something like a Tiger P, for example, that could reverse and drive forwards at the same speed, and it had two sprockets as well. So we always learn something new. Okay, here we have both the sprockets for one side, and this one that I'm cutting out now, that's the one that couldn't move, as the kit was just made like that. Only the front one can move, and I'm always very skeptical about these joints, if that's what you can call them, as these are these are my sort of tweezers that I bought once when I was abroad, and I didn't take my own tweezers. And now that my tweezers, a couple of months ago, as you might have seen on a community post, maybe 2 it was or something like that, they snapped on a lollipop stick. Yes, ouch. And I have to use these now because there's no point of buying a replacement. But they do the job, I guess, but I just have to be extra careful. And this is another moment of not focusing well, is it? And here is the panel that the sprocket would attach on the front one, so the one that could move actually in the kit, and it has some nice rivets in it. And I actually quite like how this system goes on. You put on the sprocket onto the inside bit, and then you put a tiny bit of glue there, and it works. Here I'll be gluing that sprocket on, and yeah, it went on pretty nicely as well, sliding on. You have to watch out with your fitment, as if you glued those panels on prior, if they were bent, then that wouldn't go on nicely, so you just have to watch out with that. Here is the back sprocket, and as I've said, this one doesn't move, so it will just attach on like that. and well, it looks nice. I've got one question for you guys. I'm trying to make a diorama for this one, right? And should I make it fully Normandy, as in both sides, or should I split it sort of down the middle? You know, one side of soldiers speaking to the tanker, and the other one sort of in a museum, if you get what I mean, like sort of half half. Let me know in the comments because I'm quite unsure on that one. Anyways, back to the model. Here we're putting on the side hatch, which I'm pretty sure wasn't used for actually getting in and out of the tank. It was just evacuation, because I can't imagine that being comfortable to try crawling in sort of at a horizontal angle. And these are both the sides done. The Churchill is actually much longer than I anticipated, and well, they look pretty nice, just me making it look messy with all that glue. And this is the floor. I can't really say it's nicely moulded because it's just a flat panel of plastic. However, those triangles there, they're very nice attachment points for the sides so that they actually fit properly. And I kind of appreciate it when manufacturers put on very clear guides where a part should go on, as sometimes just even manuals can just seem not clear enough. Okay, so this bit is very sped up. I think it's ×4 or 3.5 because it took me so long for no reason to glue the sides on, and even in this recording I'm pretty sure I don't get it all to hold, which now looking at it, geez, that's shocking, isn't it? Not what you would be expecting. But there you can see those triangles in action, just slot very nicely in, and the bond was secure enough on this side. However, I had to do the other side with super glue as it just would not hold, as you'll see in a sec. Yep, so here I'm going to try attaching it and fail. So now it's glued up all again, and you see inside there that's super glue, because if something isn't holding, I just prefer to put a dab of super glue and smear across the whole inside, because you're not going to see that, and it just adds to the strength of it so that it doesn't collapse in it if you squash it or something like that. And well, it works sort of like that. Here is my first big experience with PE, because I've made complex-ish, I guess you can call them, kits. If you're a long-time viewer, you know I've made the M60 from Takom, and that had photo-etched, but I didn't include it because I don't know why. I just didn't feel like I had the skill, and looking back, that was almost 8 months ago. I don't know how I've lasted this long, and well, my skills have evolved a bit, but talk about the M60 of Takom, I might have to redo that one day, as it's sort of just sitting there in the state it's left after the video, no weathering, no nothing, so maybe a little shelf queen rescue, if you get what I mean. And here it is. Those are little steps, I think, that I'm putting on now with those tweezers to like climb onto the engine deck to repair anything. However, I'm unsure, obviously, so here are the grills, sort of, and this assembly really reminds me of a Churchill back, as you'll see in a second, where you have the back panel and behind that you've got a grill. And you also have to be extra careful here with the cutting and with your side cutters, because, well, anything could have snapped or bent there, and that wouldn't have been nice, would it? Here it is, the radiator grill being attached. And it went on nicely, obviously, because the fitment of the two whole sides together was very good. And this is what I mean about the back panel. And as you can see, my photo etch gluing wasn't perfect, so not everything is straight. However, it's not that bad. It might just look bad on video. And here's the top grill, which gets covered up anyways, I'm pretty sure. Does it? No, it does not, sorry. Here is the top cutting off. And the Churchill is a very rectangular tank in its own manner compared to anything else. It's just very geometrical shapes. However, the turret is uneven though, as you'll see later, me pointing it out. And this sprue was absolutely packed with parts, and you didn't use a lot of them, as those were for the normal variants of the Churchill. However, this is the AVRE. And those periscopes were very interesting because usually periscopes are just the slanted little clear part, and you know the commander or whoever it is inside can rotate them around. But these have a little how would you call it? A little surrounding protective bit. It might be for shrapnel or something, but I don't know. Here is the engine deck, and talk about parts for different kits. You can see the color difference of these two different sprues, because I'm guessing one was probably for like a Mark 1 whilst the other one was for a Mark 3 or something like that. Here you can see me struggling, and well, it's sort of funny looking back at it now, as I could have just put it there and that's it, but I tried to make it actually close like a hatch for no reason. Here's another moment of PE excellence, if that's what you can call it. Those brackets on the hatches look very nice, and that bit there for the driver's hatch, I don't know what those two parts is, but well, on an unpainted model, the little gold always adds to the look. And here is the front hull mounted machine gun. It was a pretty nice assembly, and you could make it move if you wanted to, but then again, I don't play with my kits like most of us, so what's the point of that feature, right? I'm sorry for the lack of focus, but just to let everyone know, my camera is a Canon EOS 1300D, and well, if you know anything how to use it better, maybe just let me know. Here we will be attaching the the driver's periscope sort of front hatch, and well, there's another tiny bit of PE there, which was a little, I'm guessing not handle, but a little bracket to open it. And again, it just looks nice on an unpainted model, doesn't it? Here is the back of the engine bay, and I don't know, is it just me closing the holes too tightly with that super glue, but I couldn't get this to fit. That's why it's times by 4, I think, and you can see me struggling. This original recording was, I think, like 3 minutes 40 or something like that. Yes, me struggling for 3 minutes 40. That could be a video itself, couldn't it? This is the front, and there's two bolts there, rivets, as the whole tank apart from the hull was riveted, and that's a hook mounting spot right there. And you can see me putting it on here. I don't know why I didn't just glue it to show how it would look, but well, that's how it would look. And an interesting thing about the headlights is one of them, it had a transparent part whilst the other one didn't, which confused me a bit because I'm guessing they're both headlights. And here are the exhausts, which look very nice. And well, I like exhaust because I'm sort of a car guy, you know. There'll be more cars coming up, by the way. And well, looks nice, and it will be a chance for rust weathering, which will also look nice. I might do a tutorial on how to rust weather. Let me know if you want to see anything like that. Here I'll be attaching it on, and as you can see here, I was trying to finish at least the build of the project, which is what stage it's still left in at the time of recording this audio. I might paint it later today with what paints I might try finding. But I'm using a crocodile clip here with the tip of the brush just added on, and that's a very good thing actually, to not waste any glue and just throw it away. Use it like that as you get the most glue out of it still. And here I'm putting on the exhausts, which I really like how they look, because these, I'm pretty sure it's just the Hobart's Funnies which were meant to have duplex drive. So they have the bigger sort of PE parts added on so they can work underwater, and with pliers I just sort of made it not battle damage, but just some banding on and so on, because it's thin sheets of metal, so it would work like that. Here is the snake launcher base, if that's what it's called, and well, you have to pay attention to the instructions, because I didn't, and this is what my first attempt looked like. It snapped, and however you should be fine though, because it comes with like 7 extras, so you could snap 6 more and still have 1 more left. And these are the actual snake missiles. From what I know, they were meant to be missiles, right? And they look nice. And what can I say? It's just tubes, and there's a big seam line for some reason, which I don't know, was it meant to be there, but I just left it. Oh, now searching it up, the snake launchers are meant to be mine clearing, which makes sense for a engineer vehicle. Here I'll be attaching the metal beam made from PE, and that just looks so nice on the unpainted model. A massive golden beam, sort of like a cross beam, and well, beauty, isn't it? There's 2 little holes, as you can see, which are for the driver and machine gunner to look through so they can still see straight, but I don't know how that would affect their vision right and left, like sort of at a 20-degree angle, because they wouldn't be able to see. And here I have one side of the snake mine clearers, let's call them correctly from now on, and I'm putting the other one on. I had to use super glue here, as on the other side off camera when I experimented it just wouldn't stick. It's because I missed out some of the attachment points, so that's sort of my fault, but well, it looks like what it looks. This is the mortar cannon breech, and I quite like the AVRE because of the mortar. It just adds character to it, because it's not just a normal long barrel again, or a short stubby one. It's got some character. Again, sorry for the lack of focus. Okay, here we have PE. The PE part is used for sort of I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the bit that like cools the machine gun with all the holes in it. Lack of focus again. But now I'll show you how that looks. Yes, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Here I'll be mounting the machine gun into the into the well, mantlet, I guess you can call it a mantlet. And I had to put a bit of super glue so that the PE part can actually hold and the bond is much more secured. And it looks nice. Sort of a busy breech with a mantlet, you know. Here is the base of the turret. I'm going to mount the breech in now, and you could, I'm pretty sure, yeah, make it go up and down, I think, but I didn't do that because, well, what's the point of trying to do that and not have a good bond? Because, as I've said, I don't play with my kits. So here it's on. Now I'll be putting on the top of the turret, and that lettering there is very nice inclusion, as I know a lot of manufacturers don't include the letters on the side of cast turrets. However, it's included, so it's nice. I'm not sure if the seam line meant to be there, but it got covered up later anyways. You'll see how. So now, looking at it, the turret is, I mean, I knew this, but I'll show you. The turret is very lopsided, as in one side goes in quicker than the other, and it just sort of looks weird and unproportional, but that's what makes the Churchill unique. Here the petard mortar was mounted off camera because it wasn't a struggle, it was sort of just... You don't want to see my hands in the way the whole time for like 5 minutes, did you? Here is the hull and the turret going on. And it fits nicely. Here is the turret basket, and in a second you'll see whilst I'm assembling it, it looks like there's a massive seam there, but that was just my fault and I fixed it anyways, but it just looks weird. And that's it done. Now we will mount it on just like that, and this is the fun bit now. Tamiya basic type putty with some Tamiya extra thin cement diluted and stippling on. I always love this step because it adds so much character to the tank through just texture. And, well, you have to be extra careful with that lettering though, as it's nice to be included, but you don't want to cover it up, do you? I tried not to get any onto the turret basket because that's not a cast bit, that was rolled sheets, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, stipple it on and it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Again, on an unpainted model, this just looks so much nicer as well, so why not do it? And looking at it, the seam it came out a lot after the after the putty, but well, it will stay there forever now. And these are the, not periscopes, but sort of the little viewing port hatches on the sides of the turret, which are also cast, so I put texture on them off camera. And well, I kept one open just to add some character to the tank, as in some life, even though there will be 2 tank men figures. even though I closed the hatch on the top of the turret, as you'll see in some time. But I had to go through the task of, opening it, even though it was closed off with the bond of cement melting the putty and closing it. So that broke a tiny bit, but it works. Here will be the, I think, cupola-ish. Yeah, the cupola, sort of. I wouldn't want to call it a cupola, but if the Brits want to, then yeah, sure. As it just has two periscopes, not even fully around. I'll just call it the commander's hatch. And that was secured in place, looking all nice. And those are two fire extinguishers, I'm pretty sure, on the sides of the turret basket, which I might paint red, because I know during the war some countries had it red. However, I don't know what the British ones were. They were probably some boring, dull olive drab or khaki or something like that. Because, well, what can we expect from the Brits? Here is the turret done. That antenna on the back was mounted, some extra bits and bobs. And it looks very nice, if you do ask me. Here we will encounter a slight issue. The turret doesn't fit. I wonder why. Oh, it's that bit, isn't it? I had to... I'm pretty sure I followed the instructions, but, well, it is what it is. And I had to put that bit... I think it's a rolled up sheet or something like that. I had to put it a bit further back. Oh, and there's a bug there. Hello, mate. Shoo. This had to go back, and, well, I wonder what I was thinking about. Now it's good, isn't it? It fits. And, well, that's the build done, looking all nice with a petard inside. Well, and I had to put some bits and bobs, and, well, it's done. Well, thanks for watching, and I'm so sorry for all the delays in the video, as I wanted to publish it yesterday, but that happened. But if you've made it this far, then please make sure to like and subscribe, as this, well, it's free, and we all love this hobby together, don't we? As for future projects, for anyone that's interested, my nearest project that I'm up to finishing is probably this Churchill. Just needs some painting and the base, so that'll probably be one video. There's some work on the big scale airplane. Yes, aircraft. Wow, I hear you saying. And there's also one aircraft in 1/48 done, so that might be posted in a week or two. As of that, there's also there's a lot of kits I picked up when I went to Hannon's warehouse at Lowestoft. 6 kits to be exact, and those will all have to be done, and it's different subjects, as I can say, but they've all been explored on this channel already. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time. Have a great one, and, well, goodbye.